Unstoppable Kickass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
Banana, 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 na 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 na. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is I, your No Excuses coach, back with another episode of the Raw and Unscripted show with yours truly, Christopher Rausch, the place where I help you overcome the self-created crap, your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. And I'm excited to be here with you once again here on the podcast, the video cast show that's designed to elevate your opportunity to think differently about your past, present, and your future. It's an opportunity for you to consider your future in a much different limelight of possibilities and not potential regrets, which I see a lot of people doing. They're living their life with potential regrets, and it's not fun. What's up, Mary Sterling? We already got the Misfits for Life in the house. Mary, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to love this, gentleman. You're going to love this conversation tonight. I'm fired up. Why am I fired up? Lord, I just went camping. I went camping with my family. Now, I don't camp, I glamp. And if you don't know what glamping is glorified camping. So we actually have a really nice RV, and we towed it up about 45 minutes away from our house. And it's a nice travel trailer. And we had a great time. We went outside and walked, and we went down by the lake. We rode our bikes, and we watched lots of movies and played and talked and made marshmallows and just kind of unplugged from the situation that's going on all around us in the world, which is really neat because I didn't check social media. I didn't respond to messages. I was like, I literally need to go unplug my brain and get a break because I take in a lot of energy from all you folks. I'm the No Excuses coach. So I always have to make sure I go back and rest. So at least 4 times a year, I try to get away for at least 3 or 4 days, just to kind of do a huge reset, just come back, bring you guys the energy, bring you guys the motivation, because I too can go down some rabbit holes and get a little stuck in shit. So the point is that I take my own advice. As the No Excuses coach, I have to take my own advice because otherwise, where would I be? I would be in a puddle somewhere, given everything that I've been through. Darlene's in the house. She's what's up? What's up? I've been waiting for 10 o'clock with toothpicks. With toothpicks. Hello. Evening, everyone. You're gonna love this conversation, Darlene. You may have heard our guest on Clubhouse, because we've shared rooms, been in the same rooms before. So you may have heard who we know as the Refresher. Sometimes we know him. So I'm excited for you to be here. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys being here, whether it's live or on the replay. It means the world to me. I love doing this show. I love having these conversations that really my truest intentions with these conversations. And you can ask my guests every single time. I ask them, what is it that you want to convey through the message to the people that are going to be watching this and listening to this? Because it's always my intention that you guys walk away with at least one aspect that you're shifted on, that you look at things a little bit differently, that maybe you have a more open perspective about having conversations with people you disagree with, whatever it might be. My intention is to help heal humanity. My intention is to make this world a better place for what I do, what I say, and everything else that's a part of that, so that I leave a legacy that says Christopher Rausch will have fought for what was right and what was fair. He will have risked for which that mattered, and you left the earth a better place for who he was and what he did. So I wake up every single day and I set the intentions to achieve that legacy. So if I die 10 minutes from now, at least I can sit there and say, hey, I went out, boom, Chris was right there. Mic drop. See, it's got the mic drop. And by the way, my guns, look at that. 75 hard, baby. I brought some guns back to the show. Of course, I think I put on about 10 pounds of booze and crackers and chips and all sorts of delicacies, but I'm back on program today. I'm not doing 75 hard again, but I'm doing 6 days a week of healthy eating and 1 day of just blowing it up. And I've done that before, and it works. And you get excited about that one day. Tim Ferriss talked about it in the 4-Hour Body, I believe it was. So I like that. So I'm going to do that. But I encourage all you guys to go out there and check out 75 Hard. I did it, completed it, and I'm excited. So yes. And one more thing, speaking about help heal humanity, I'm on the board of directors for this organization. If you haven't seen my social media posts, please go check them out. Our CEO founder, Serena Buffalino, is boots on ground in Haiti after the devastating earthquake that they just had again. We already know about the one they had previously. She was boots on ground. I've been sharing video images, and we're going to have some amazing stuff for you. But literally, they are the first. We are the first. The Help Heal Humanity team is the first organization that some of these people have seen at all. Not even their own officials, nobody. They hadn't seen anybody. They had nothing. So we were getting them tarps and food, peas and peas, some oil and rice, and just giving them food. They just had nothing. They had nothing. And what broke my heart was when she said they don't even have they want us to take pictures of them. Get this. They want us to take pictures of them because they don't have mirrors. Think about that. I never thought about that, right? It's not like, it's just crazy what it is that we have. So if you're in any space or opportunity to do anything with that, please go check out my post. There's a Leaf Fund that's set up there. We're doing sponsorships for our kids to make sure they stay in school. So yeah, help heal humanity. Keep your thoughts out for Serena. She's amazing. You're going to have to hear this story. I'm going to break this story. She went through something today that I don't even know about, but I know it's going to be mind fucking blowing because that's who she is. That's who she is, and that's why I'm on the board of directors with the amazing folks there. So anyways, you guys came here to hear a conversation. Did you not? Did you not? Thank you for allowing me this little time here to talk with you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. What's up, Jacqueline Rose? She's in this woman, Kickass right here. Kickass, unstoppable, misfit for life. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Do we have enough energy in the room? Are we ready for our guest right now? All right. So let me give you this introduction. I don't write my introductions. I go straight from my heart and my head, what it is that I know about the individual. So my buddy, Shawn Jackson, I did not know that was his name when I met him on Clubhouse. Me and him just started jiving, just started talking. We were in rooms together. He started inviting me to some rooms, had me speaking on some topics, and we just started having these open-ended conversations and just really realizing that he and I, from very different parts of the world, in a sense, are very much the same people. And you're going to find out why, because I did a little research on him. And I found out we have a few similarities that I'm not sure he knows about, but we're going to dive into the conversation. And our intention with this conversation is to have you guys leave here just a little bit more elevated, a little bit more feeling like you're empowered and in control of what it is that you can do with your opportunities right now. Because I trust me, I know. That's why I had to go take a break. I know a lot of you are struggling. I know a lot of you are struggling and you're afraid to admit it. You don't want to admit it. You don't want to reach out for help. You want to be strong. You're seeing everybody else on social media look so happy. Trust me, people. Trust me. Listen, everything on social media isn't what's fucking real sometimes. People are struggling. So let's be what we can do out there to lift these people up. So my buddy, Shawn Jackson, he's got an amazing story. He's a tenacious motherfucker. He's driven. He's goal-oriented. He wants to take what was a unbelievable story of his childhood and his upbringing and his life. He wants to take that and transfer that and make the world a much better place for who he is and what he does. Ooh, and he's just an amazing individual. So without any further ado, welcoming Shawn Jackson to the Raw and Unscripted show. Shawn, how are you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well, Chris. How you doing, brother?
I'm fired up, dude. Can you tell?
I'm fired up too, man. I'm fired up too.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. So I know where you're at. It's 10 o'clock at night. It's a little bit late. I can't remember exactly whereabouts are you again?
I'm in Maine right now.
In Maine?
Yeah, Maine.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, where were you before? You weren't in Maine before.
Man, I always been in Maine. I'm from Florida originally. I just been in Maine. Yeah, I'm from Florida originally. I came in Maine about 5 years ago. I got left here on vacation.
You wait a minute. You got left. That wasn't how I was going to start out this conversation. But wait a minute. You got left in Maine on vacation. Let's start with that story. I got to hear this one.
Yeah, I came up here after a bad breakup in Florida, and I met some guy who's originally from Maine, and his sister lives in Florida, so she comes in Maine like every summer for vacation. So he invited me out here one summer, and I came out here with her, and literally wasn't what I expected, man. Like, it was crazy. And like, he tried to get me to do heroin. It was crazy. And yeah, I'm not I don't do drugs. And yeah, so he told me to catch a bus back to Florida. And that was it, man. I had a bag of clothes and a pair of shoes on my feet.
Wow. And so you just why didn't you go back to Florida? Why you just said, well, hell, kid, I'm already here.
Yeah, it's just, sometimes you gotta break away from your family to really find who you are as a person.
Oh yeah. And
that's what I wanted to do. I really wanted to find myself. I wanted to grow myself. Because my mom died 11 years ago. She passed away in Florida. So I really wanted to move past that. I wanted to grow as a man and find myself as a man. So I just stayed in Maine.
Damn, that's crazy. I had no idea that story was even going to come out of this, because I'm like, wait a minute, you got left in Maine on vacation. It was only 5 years ago, but that's tremendous. That just speaks to the type of person that I love who you are, because you're truly about that. From every conversation that I've seen, every conversation that we've had, you are like me. You're able to take a situation that most people would find and react to with hatred and anger and resentment and hostility and all these different things. And you sat there and went, all right, what can I do with this? I can actually take this opportunity right here and right now with nobody around and figure myself out. Dude, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You said your mom passed away.
Yeah.
It's another thing we have in common. My mom passed away. Geez, it's almost been 11 years ago.
Same here.
I know. I know. My mom died July. I always forget the year. I think it was because I'm bad at that. I think she died July 31st, 2011. I think that's what it was.
Mom died November 1st, 2011.
Wow. Yeah. And let me guess something else. Talk to me about your biological dad.
He was never in my life.
Me neither. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, Chris.
Did you know about the mom thing too?
I didn't know either, Chris.
Well, I know I was homeless.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. And I think you might have been homeless too, because that's where you got the inspiration to start something. So talk to us about that journey of being homeless.
Being homeless is crazy, actually, because I was in a bad breakup and she actually tried to ruin my life, because I never hit children. So she tried to call the cops and tell the cops I beat her kid. And what happened was I was going to be a correctional officer during that time frame. And it's ironic, man, because thank God they had everything on file in the system from being a correction officer. And they're like, this man he's no menace to society. So I got out like literally the next day and all my charges got dropped, dismissed, and expunged. But that's just a lesson learned, man. Like I went there and like from there I went from the shelter because I was living with her and I had nowhere to go. Again, I'm not from Maine, I'm from Florida. I have no family up here. Like I have no family at all, man. And just literally just being in that situation, Chris, it was crazy, man. I had nowhere to go. So I just went to the shelter. I was homeless.
And how long were you in the shelter system for?
5 months.
Wow. What did you get out of that experience? And meeting other people that are homeless and meeting all segments of society, what did you get out of that experience?
A humbling experience. My first 2 weeks, I ain't gonna lie, I was crying. I was very emotional because that's not my background. My family, I've never been homeless. I've never been in that situation, So I had to really embrace it. And what I got out of it is just to empower people, be able to look at it as, all right, yeah, I'm homeless. Let's get something out of it. Like, no excuses to get yourself out of it. You made your bed, let's lie in it, get yourself out of it, So
what did you do to get yourself out of that situation after being there for 5 months? And I'm assuming this is a breakup after you got left there. So then you get there, you establish yourself. So you have a breakup and then you wind up homeless. Where do you go from there? How do you get yourself out of that situation?
I started working. I started boxing. I started playing football. I started doing multiple things. It's crazy because they wanted me to stop working to get a voucher to get out the shelter. And I told them no. That's not me. I would never live out the state. That's not me. I'm a worker. I'm a hard worker. And I'm going to work to the day I die. And I stayed there. And like I said, I started playing football. I started boxing and, started saving up money. I was never at the shelter. I just slept there, basically.
So how old were you at this point? Because you're talking about playing football. Were you still a kid?
Nah, I was 27.
27 and playing football?
Yeah. First time playing football.
Damn, dude, you hustle. You're like, you want me to be a ballerina? I'll be a ballerina. You want me to be football? Whatever it is. So who taught you that hustle? I know the answer, but I want everybody else to hear it.
Who taught that hustle? It has to be my uncle, basically, as a kid. But I taught myself how to hustle. But my uncle, as a kid, really instilled that into me because my father was never there. So my uncle was just really a major role in my life. He was a basketball star at Bethune-Cookman College back in the day. So he played basketball his whole entire life. So he really instilled that into me at a young age.
The hustle. You know who taught me my hustle? Crazy enough, my mom. My mom taught me to hustle. I was thinking about her just a little bit ago. I was folding some sheets and I remember when she was bringing me up everything. She's like, you do it with the best integrity. You do it with the best values. You always do this. And so she always taught me to be unstoppable in a sense. I mean, I didn't ever really agree with how her methods worked, but I also know that by her demonstration, even when she came out of the hospital after being diagnosed with lung cancer and had an open wound on her leg and she could barely walk, she was still getting up and taking care of her cats and going to the store. And she didn't want any help from anybody really, except for me. Imagine that. But she taught me that tenacity. She taught me that no matter what, you don't complain, you keep going. And she went through so much. She went through so much in the last couple of years of her life that I was amazed at how she was. Her leg, after that wound got bad, her leg looked necrotic. It looked like it was burnt. I have a picture of it before it was amputated. I don't understand how that woman did it, but I definitely understand where I get it from, because I'm in a lot of pain and I just keep going. I sit there and I think, if somebody was in as much pain as I would, they would probably like be in the hospital or something like that. But I'm just like, yeah, it's pain, whatever. You just keep on going. What are your thoughts about pain and our perception of it?
Pain is a state of mind. You know, I tell people all the time, like, my mom, just like your mother, man, she was a warrior too. And, you know, she instilled in me to get up and go no matter what. That's why now I go to work. I go no matter what, because my mother, she had sickle cell. She died from sickle cell, and she had multiple surgeries, man. She had ports. She had open heart surgery. She had hip surgery, you know, and no matter what, no how many surgeries, like, she always got up and she always cooked. She always made a way for her 2 kids, me and my other brother. No matter what, she never complained. She never made no excuse. She always got up and, you know, handled her business as a woman, and despite how she felt, man. So pain to me is temporary, because if she can do it at having sickle cell and having surgeries after surgery after surgery, then I can do it.
I love that. I love that. Hold that thought. You know who David Goggins is, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That motherfucker knows pain, man. He is psychotic. I mean, I sit there and watch some of his interviews and I still watch him because I'm just amazed at him, but I'm just like, he transformed my perspective of pain. You know, I purposely studied him about a month or 2 months before I went to the hospital and had my major back surgery, because I was like, okay, I'm going to have to come out of this thing with a different perspective about pain. And so I just watched him, and I watched James the Iron Man Cowboy, and I watched another guy. I can't remember his name right now, but David Goggins, man. I was like, what? You know, pain, you know, and I started thinking about that. I'm like, what if pain is actually good for us? You know, we're told as kids, oh, you know, avoid the pain, avoid the pain, avoid the pain. Oh, the pain is bad. The pain is bad. I'm sitting there and I did videos on this last year, and I was walking in pain, and people were like, Chris, you're stupid. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be doing 75 hard. You're in pain. You're in pain. I'm like, what if the pain was signaling me to work harder? What if the surrounding muscles and the surrounding tissues were weak, so weak that the muscle that's in pain is screaming for me to work out so that those other muscles and tendons would get strong? And I learned that from Goggins. I was like, what if? Fast forward, I'm walking. I can't walk like I couldn't walk. I can't walk like 5 or 6 miles anymore, but I usually do about 3 miles every other day. And for a while, I couldn't walk for more than 10 minutes. But I just kept pushing myself, and it still hurts. But I've changed my perspective and my association with pain to sit there and say, hey, I'm alive. And I'll share this real story, and then I'm going to go to my comments here in a second. But here's another perspective shift for you, ladies and gentlemen, thinking about pain. When I was bitching about my pain before my back surgery, and I was on Percocets and all this other shit, and I was like, okay, how can I shift my perspective? This is what I do as the No Excuses coach. I was like, how can I shift my perspective about my situation right now? Because I'm feeling a little bit like a victim, and I'm feeling like a pussy. What can I do? And in that situation, I was able to really just, I don't know. It was something that was calling to me, and I started thinking about it, and it was a story. And I was trying to think about, like, why am I happy about my pain? And then it dawned on me. One of my friends kind of from back in the 80s, back in the old days, he got drunk. Long story short, he got drunk, fell over onto his daughter's wood table, and the wood table broke, and part of the wood went into his back, and it severed his spinal cord. And he laid there. I can't remember the exact number of hours, but I think it was like 13 hours. Screaming. And then finally a gardener put a ladder up to his apartment and got him out there, but he was paralyzed from the neck down, from the shoulders down. Basically, he could have a little movement in his legs or his fingers a little bit. But I sat there and I thought, would Big Mike want my pain right now? Yes. Big Mike would love to have my pain right now because he doesn't feel anything. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think about that in the comments. I just want to go over here. We got Jacqueline in the house. Jacqueline says right here, she goes, peace, love, light, and massive learning from one of the best there is. I think she's talking about you. We got Darlene in Florida's in the house. What's up? She's like, yay, what's up, Florida? We got Robert's in the house saying hello to everybody. Thank you so much for being here, Robert. I appreciate you. And we got Absolutely. We got Jacqueline says here, thank God I'm a spirit, fly with me, but don't cage this Irish. But yeah, you gotta get friend request her on Facebook. You're a dynamo. You're just a dynamo. She get knocked over by a Hurricane Ida and be like, fuck you. You would, huh, Jacqueline? I know you would. All you misfits for life. You guys are beautiful people. Beautiful people. So beautiful people. You're a beautiful person. You know that? I'm talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're a beautiful person. Okay. So I happen to know you're a hard worker. So in what we're hearing right now about this generation resignation, people are quitting, wanting to be on unemployment, don't want to work. They want everything to be easy. They want to be an overnight sensation. They want to be the social media superstar. They want the Amazon microwave mentality. Like, oh, I just want to take a class. I just want to do a couple of posts and for it to go viral. What do you say to people, and what advice do you give them to get the inspiration to hustle like you do, and tell them how you hustle, because I know you do?
First, find what your biggest why is.
Ooh.
Discover what your biggest why is, right? And then if you're suffering, to implement the 3 S's in life, which is suffer, sacrifice, and success. So then sit down and reflect, because our generation has a bad time of reflecting. Reflecting time is very, very vital. You got to reflect. You got to take that time to reflect, regroup, and recap, and just go out there and attack. Be in attack mode. Have a relentless effort, and from there, you'll see success.
So tell us a story about how you do that. How does that apply in your life? What is your big why?
My biggest why is my children, and just to be great. Like, for example, my son texted me this morning, sent me a photo of him playing football and him walking on the football field. I was proud. I was like, wow. Like, my son, he's back home in Florida, by the way. And like, he started playing.
How old is he?
He's 8.
Okay.
Yeah, and he started playing football because of me. Like, I ain't started playing, like I told you earlier, I ain't started playing football until I was 27. And he called me up one day like, Dad, I want to play football just like you. I even asked him, Chris, I was like, who's your favorite football player out of all the NFL players? He's like, Dad, you're my favorite football player.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man. And that just drives me like to go even more harder, like to go out there and just accomplish whatever I can for my kids, open how many doors I can for my kids, so they can be great as well too. I want to meet the NFL commissioner one day, like if I can.
Oh, really?
I want to help my son out. He want to go to the NFL. I want to collaborate. I'm business. I'm all about business. If I can sit down and meet people like that and get I'm all about it. Just helping my son out to get to his next level, what he want to do in life.
So how would you describe your why when you're looking for motivation, you're looking for inspiration? It's 3:00 in the morning. You've been up doing a show until 11 o'clock at night. You're tired. How do you translate that into your why?
I tell myself I can, I will, and I must be great for my children. I tell myself that every single day. When I'm delivering packages for FedEx, when I'm having a bad moment, I tell myself I can, I will, I must get through this for my children. I'm going to take something from the day rather than going through the day. And
ooh, something from today, instead of
going through the day.
Ooh, nice. So you're making every moment count.
Exactly.
Nice. So, so your son is 8, and how many other kids do you have?
I have a daughter. She's 4. That's about it. 2.
Yeah. Is she in Florida as well?
Nah, she's up here in Maine.
Nice. So what have you learned from being a dad, aside from your why? What are some of the lessons that you've learned from being a dad? My son's 5 years old, and I have learned quite a bit about myself and about life and about people and about different things. But what are some of the things that you've learned as a father?
That kids are sponges. They're literally watching our every move. They're watching us. They're watching what we do, how we turn out, how we move, what we working on, and stuff like that. And I strongly believe how we turn out is how our kids turn out. Because if we out here motivating the world, empowering people, uplifting people, doing phenomenal things in the world, then our kids gonna want to be the same and do the same, if not be better. And I love that,
Nah, I love that too. It's I think about things in terms of when I think about like your why, because that's something I always talk about, is like, if you have a big enough why, you have a big enough how. And for me, that's when I wrote my eulogy back in 2008. That became my why. So it was like, here's my why, that in every moment I am taking the action that will fulfill that legacy. That's my why. And then when Jackson came along, I was still using that, but again, always looking for perspective shifts, always looking for the opportunity to become better, the opportunity to refine whatever it is that I might be thinking about. So I was like, I love asking myself questions. Love asking myself questions. Actually, I'm looking at 24 questions. I'm creating a list of the most powerful questions that I know of, just for me, just for my questions, not because you can go get a list anywhere, but I just think in terms of what question could I ask somebody in such a way that they would have no other choice but to recognize their situation that they're in so they can change it. So in my perspective, I was like, what can I do? And I started becoming fascinated with what our best is. Like one day I came and I was putting my keys in my dresser, and I said, I'm like, I did the best I could today, or I did the best I could with something. And because I was reviewing it in my brain, I'm like, what is that? Where did that come from? I did the best I could. What? Oh, that's the shit. That's the kid. That's a kid thing that we do. Chris, did you do your best? Yes, I did. Okay, do better next time. Okay. They never define what our best is, and they never define what better is. We get a get out of jail free card, and we're like, oh, I did my best. Oh, you did your best. Okay, do better next time. Oh, you keep trying, baby. You're going to get it one day. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what life would be if we actually quantified what our best was and really refined that? So for me, thinking about my best and thinking about my perspective shifts, I said, okay, what would I tell Jackson to do with this situation as it would apply to him? So if I was having a problem with somebody at work, I would sit there and say, if Jackson came to me and said, Dad, I got this problem with somebody at school, they're being this, and describing my coworker or whatever it is, what advice would I give Jackson? And that is what I need to implement. So when I started doing stuff like that, that gave me a bigger why to raise the standard of who I was being, but who I was becoming. Because I could sit there and say, that guy's a fucking douchebag. I'm going to go trip him down the hall and watch his, whatever. Shift. Jackson. Sometimes there's going to be people in your life that are going to upset you and piss you off. You're going to have to recognize that it's not about you. It's about their situation and what they're going through. You're choosing to react to the situation and take things personally, And so I started reformulating situations in my mind. I was like, I'm not mad anymore. I feel sorry for you. Dude, you're all right. Whatever you need. And I just started shifting my perspective. It changed my reputation. It changed my success. It changed my happiness level, because I was no longer tied to, I have to prove something or I have to be right about something. And for me, that was one of the biggest shifts in having kids, was recognizing it's not about me anymore. It's about them. Like you said, setting the example. And I have another situation for that, because I want to ask you a question. Actually, no. Tell me a situation with your kids where you would have done something differently, but you considered them and thought about it and changed in that point.
When I was homeless, I almost gave up, because, like I said, I never was homeless. I ain't know what to do. My first 2 weeks in the homeless shelter, I was surrounded by negativity. If people know, like, when you're homeless, like, you just literally surrounded by negativity everywhere, and it's draining. It's really draining. And I almost gave up, but I didn't. I really had to think of my kids, because I thought to myself, if my son was in the same situation I was in the future, and he calls me for advice, how can I give my son advice to get out of that situation if I can't get out of the situation? So
yeah.
So that's what happened, man. So I really had to find myself, and I did.
Yeah. Do you remember what your darkest moment was in your life, and what you thought, and how you changed where it was you were at emotionally, mentally, physically?
When I lost my mother, that was like the darkest time. My mom passed away. She was really close. My mom supported everything I did. There's no question asked. Even though she was sick, she was in the hospital 6 months out of the year. But she made it a point to be a mother, and she was always there. Whether she was limping on a walker or in a wheelchair, she was there. So that, I think, the darkest moment in my life was losing my mother, and I had to realize that, okay, life is short. It's time to leave a legacy. It's time to impact the world. It's time to be great and be a better version of yourself. It's time to make your mother proud, and that's what I wanted to do.
That is beautiful, man. That is beautiful. I know I've been in some pretty dark places before. And you know, it's kind of like by the grace of God, the source universe, that I'm still sitting here. I mean, I tried to kill myself twice. Unfortunately, I sucked at it, let's be honest. But you know, with what you're saying right there is you're taking responsibility. And that's what I was leading up to these questions, because I want people to see that throughout your journey, you've taken responsibility. You haven't put a poor me on anybody. You're like, what is the situation I'm in that I need to learn and grow from? And you know as well as I do, there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Obviously, we got COVID, we got the murder of George Floyd last year. We have political unrest. The world is just like crazy right now, and so many people are struggling in those dark moments. What are some tips and opportunities and strategies specifically that they can take from this conversation with you and I to be able to sit there and say, okay, listen, I'm no longer going to be a victim anymore? Because I think that's one mentality that a lot of people have, is that they're a victim and they need to switch that. So what are some opportunities for them to change that attitude about being a victim? And resourcefulness. So many people tell me, oh, Chris, I don't have money. I don't have time. I don't have this. I don't have that. So talk to us about strategies for the victim mindset and for resourcefulness, because I know you have a lot to say about that.
So being a victim, like, you always just be proud of yourself. Never be a victim, you know, just be proud of yourself. Consider yourself as a victor instead as a victim, you know, because in life, I don't care how big you get in life, you still gonna have tragedy. You know, you still gonna have deaths in the family, you still gonna have cousins getting locked up, you still gonna have people coming at you, and you just gotta be able to take the good with the bad, you know, and stay focused and press forward. And that's about it, you know. And as far as the other question goes, Chris.
Well, maybe let's stop on that one, because I want to push back on that a little bit. So you had a mom that taught you tenacity. You had your uncle. You've had a lot of positive influences in your life to get you where you're at today. And you've had challenges. It's not that you haven't had challenges. But what about the people out there that grew up with, you know, completely asshole parents? You know, just different situations that they've had, and they haven't had the opportunity to have as much motivation and inspiration in your as you have had in your life. Their immediate pushback is going to be like, well, that sounds really easy, Shawn. Thank you. I'll just choose to be a victor now. You know, when they've actually perpetuated their beliefs over time that they're not a victor, that they're constantly going to struggle and constantly be in this state of despair. How do we get them out of that? I mean, I definitely understand that, but what are some strategies to pull them out of that?
To empower your mind every single day. You know, so you want to cut out the negativity, period. Negative music, negative people. Like, you will listen to, like, for example, me, I listen to empowerment music every day, all day. Like, I listen to Goggins. Goggins, one of my favorites. I listen to Tony Robbins. I listen to Grant Cardone. I listen to Eric Thomas. Like, right now, I listen to Eric Thomas. And, like, I'm constantly feeding my mind with positive energy. So, because, like, out of 365 days, we're human, Chris. We're gonna have we're gonna fall one day. But the power of empowering your mind is, when you do fall, you're able to pick yourself back up like that. You know, and that's why it's very important to empower your mind, to surround yourself around people that's going to celebrate you and not tolerate you.
Ooh, celebrate you, not tolerate you. There's another one, ladies and gentlemen. There's another one. Yes, that's what I was talking about. You said music. You called it something. Music, inspirational music. Was it just their interviews over music, or is it?
Well, it's like, for example, Eric Thomas. He's playing. He's speaking in front of an audience right now, and he's telling people to be a diamond. That in life, you know, we go through heat and we go through pressure. A diamond is formed through heat and pressure. And if we could bring our mind to be a diamond and realize that in life we go through heat and pressure, we get to a certain point that we are unbreakable and that we're ready to be cut.
Ooh, so you're listening to the actual. I just want to make a clarification. That it was not. I thought you said music motivation or something like that. Like, it was motivation set to music, and I was like, oh, okay, like AC/DC to Tony Robbins. Like, I could listen to AC/DC song and Tony Robbins quotes are in there or something like that. But no, to your point, absolutely. I was in that. The truth be told, I was in that situation this morning. My mind was kind of funky when I first woke up. I was out camping and drinking and just not, you know, just being. So my body, I know my physiology's off, and I was like, ooh, why do I feel like this? And I said, oh, I knew what I need to do. And I put on my Audible book and I listened to Dennis Waitley's The Psychology of Success. And he said 2 or 3 things and I latched onto them and I'm like, yeah. So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It works. I'm trying to tell people that all the time. Like, you want to listen to inspirational music. If you listen to music that's saying, oh, life sucks and this, that, and that, you're not going to get no better.
It goes back to garbage in, garbage out. I mean, it really is. That's why I love going on Clubhouse and listening to people and pouring into people and restoring my faith in humanity from all the bullshit that goes on in social media and the news and everything. So yes, no, I love that. I mean, that's so important because even to the point where, let me ask you this question. Do you have a morning ritual?
Every morning, I wake up, I do push-ups, I put on Eric Thomas, and I get up and I just start my day.
Nice. I start my day. Do you know how I start my day? Let's see if you know.
By working out like me? No.
Oh, so you haven't done your research now. I just say it a lot. So here's how I start my day, just for your benefit and for everybody's benefit here. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Jeez. Good to see you. We've got Dawn in the house. Dawn says, hi, Christopher Rausch and Shawn Jackson. Grateful to be here. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Yeah. And actually Robert says here, talking about that because that's a great association to keep, Yeah. And then he says here, this is how diamonds are formed. Thank you, Robert. You are awesome. You're a diamond. I just want to make sure I didn't miss any comments up in here. Oh yeah. Dawn says up here, she goes, caught the live before bed. Yes. We appreciate. And Darlene says here, yes, I did my best today. Did I ask you a question before I went there?
Yeah. No, you didn't.
Okay. So let's take that. So I appreciate that. The second part of that question was, let's see, victim. And the other one was about resourcefulness. Talk to us about being resourceful.
That's very important. That's very vital because you don't need all the money to start a business. I didn't have all the money in the world to start my business. I was just resourcefulness. I was just out there working, building my brand and making my name for myself as a hard worker, having good character. That goes a long way. I tell people all the time, as long as you got good character and a great work ethic, everything else is going to come along with it. So just continue to work hard and just bring value to others' lives. The more value you bring to other people's lives, then the more success you'll see. Like I tell people, you don't need $1 million to go get an LLC. You don't need $1 million to get apparel or to get your business started,
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, because you know a little bit about that.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Talk to us about that journey, because I know part of it.
Yeah, my journey. I started my business 2 years. I got my LLC a year and a half ago. And it was I feel proud of myself when I first got it. And yeah, it's just a journey, and being able to have my LLC and have my own business, it feels good. I tell people all the time, when you have your own business, now you're able to work for yourself. You can never get fired in your own company.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's
you can be the best worker on any job. Literally, you can be the best worker, but the minute you do something wrong, they're gonna fire you.
Right.
So that's why I'm proud of myself for getting my LLC. It's a process, but I tell people all the time, you gotta fall in love with the process. It's not easy, but if it was easy, everybody in the world have an LLC. So, and the whole process is you guys gotta go, like, for example, me, I go through Rocket Lawyer to get my
Rocket Lawyer?
Yeah, Rocket Lawyer.
I've never heard of that one. I know my buddy just did it through the big one. What's the big one that does all the filings? I just forgot it. I did my company through that.
Yeah, well, I'm in Maine, so Maine's a small state. So
Rocket Lawyer. I'm gonna write that down.
Yeah.
See, I'm taking notes, ladies and gentlemen. Rocket Lawyer, or I could just say, "Hey, Shawn, tell me that again later." No, I'm just kidding. We got to take notes.
Got you.
Yeah. Oh, we got some people in the house. We got Lynn Serrano in the house. What's up, Lynn? Good to see you. She says hello. She says, amen, preach it. We got Kimberly. Hey, badasses. What's up, Kimberly? Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Transformationalbadass.com. Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little plug right there. Transformationalbadass.com. Kimberly says, hey, Lynn, what's going on? She says, this is fire. Ooh, this is fire. Hands up. Emoticons for you guys listening here on the podcast. Let me think of what question I want to ask. Ooh, let's do that one. What are some of your favorite questions to either ask yourself or ask your clients to inspire different thought?
I always ask my clients, what are their dreams, their goals? Like, what are their aspirations in life? I ask them that all the time. I want to refresh them that, because you got to stay focused on the primary goal at hand. That's achieving your goals, to bring your goals into fruition, to not allowing nobody to stop you for allowing your goals to come to fruition, especially if you got kids. So I ask them that all the time, like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What's your 5-year plan? What's your 2-year plan? What's your 1-year plan?
Do you have that stuff written down yourself?
I definitely do. It's very vital.
I believe you.
Yeah,
I believe you. And thinking about that, so many people don't have stuff written down. They have the someday game in their brain, right? They're playing the someday game. They hope and wish and pray. Oh, when the kids are this, or when this happens, or when he does this, or when she does that, then we could play the someday game. But you said something earlier that's so important, is the fact that we only have moments. This is what we have right here and right now. We have moments, and we have an opportunity to create a roadmap to where it is that we want to go. And like you said, have it written down. I'll be honest, I did a crappy job this year of writing down my goals. I did. I'm very cognizant about it. I thought about it the other day. I mean, I'm pretty good at my goals. I mean, it's not like I just go, oh, what I forgot I was going to, increase this or change this or do this. I don't forget them, but normally I'm pretty more meticulous about writing them down and keeping in front of me. So thank you for that reminder, because I just realized and recognized that again. But thinking about going back to resourcefulness, I want to tie in resourcefulness and excuses, because the thing that blows my mind is people come to me all the time as a no excuses coach, and they sit there and say, Chris, I just don't have the time, I don't have the money. That's where I came up with the resourcefulness part of it. But there's Google and YouTube. There are massive resources and opportunities right now for all of us, you and me included, to learn what it is that we're deficient in, to be able to come greater. Exactly. Why do people avoid going down that opportunity to change their life when it's literally laid out? Like, if you have financial issues, Google how to get out of financial ruin. Okay, I have to suck shit and do this for 5 years, but then I'll be out of financial ruin. Okay, in 5 years, I'll be happy. Where most people go, 5 years is too long, I'll figure something out before that. Then they get into more financial ruin. What's that thought process for you like in thinking about what people can do to stop their excuses when they have the answers and the opportunities right in front of them?
Stop trying to impress others and take time to themselves. A lot of people, literally our generation, my generation in particular, are so caught up with being around their friends all the time. Literally going around friends, going out drinking, going out to bars. That don't get you nowhere. You have a clear mind, you can't think. You gotta sacrifice that. You gotta sacrifice that. You gotta sit down, you gotta think. And that's no excuses. No excuses. If you're going out drinking and having a good time with your friends, but you got other important stuff to handle, you can't really sit there and blame nobody but yourself.
Boom, boom, boom. What a great question that I like in that situation is this getting me closer to or further from my stated goal? Is this getting me closer to or further from my stated goal? So if we have our legacies mapped out, like you and I were talking about before, we have our legacies mapped out, we have our why mapped out, then in those situations can go, temptation. Okay. Is this getting me closer to or further from my stated goal? Okay. It's getting me further from my stated goal. So do that. When somebody go, I just want, I love Mel Robbins, 54321. You familiar with Mel Robbins? I love that. I went through this yesterday. I tested myself yesterday. We came back from camping, and normally when I come back from camping, I don't quit my fun lifestyle until the next day. So I come home, get everything locked up, cleaned up, have a couple of drinks, eat a pizza, whatever. The next day is when I start. But yesterday I thought, what if I just didn't do that today and then woke up tomorrow and felt just a little bit better and was a little bit more productive and did a little bit better show and had a little bit more conversation and better relationships with people in the house and everything. And so I said, would I be happy with this decision tomorrow if I did that? Even if it was just a couple of drinks, it was nothing. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't necessarily. And so I didn't. And then I was out walking this morning and I was like, man, Chris, are you happy with that decision you made yesterday? And honestly, my brain went, it would have been no big deal. But because I was accountable, because I was disciplined, because of what I learned in 75 Hard, I was super fucking proud of myself, because it wasn't about the drink or anything. It was about the fact that I made a conscious awareness in a situation that really had no leverage in it. It was like, whatever, no big deal if I do or don't. But the prowess in my mind to sit there and say, that was just one little step, one little click closer to that legacy, dude. You just got one click closer. So,
I'm proud of you, Chris. I'm proud of you, man. Because that's one thing we don't do as people nowadays, hold ourselves accountable.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I'm proud of you for doing that, man. Because I hold my own self accountable all the time. And if people nowadays can hold themselves accountable, I'm telling you, excuses will be cut out.
I mean, you work 70 hours. You worked 70 hours what week?
Last week, and I'm on the verge of doing 70 hours this week too. So. And
you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And you go until you're going to be 11 o'clock at night here in a minute.
Well, I get up at 3. I go to the gym. I'm in the gym by 5:30. I give myself like an hour and a half to work out on my body. 2 years straight doing that. I'm on a 128-day week streak for working
128-day
week streak.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, dude, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, I see your pictures. I see your Instagram posts. I see your little time thing on there. I used to do that shit, like making people feel guilty. Like, I'm at 4 o'clock at the gym, motherfuckers. You're still sleeping. And so he'd be like, dude, I hate your posts. I'm like, don't look at them or get inspired by them.
Exactly. I love doing it because I love inspiring people to get up and work. You know, while you sleeping. I mean, sleep is important, but you want to get it when you really tired. You don't want to sleep because your mind tell you to sleep. You know, because now you're missing opportunity.
Now you're missing opportunities. Don't want to miss opportunities, ladies and gentlemen. We cannot do that. Speaking of opportunities, we still have a few more minutes. I want to take advantage of this talking to you. I know this is going to be a great part of the conversation. Then we'll end the show so you can get to sleep. The youth, our brothers and sisters out on the streets, our 12-year-olds, our 13-year-olds, our 18-year-olds, our 22-year-olds, our 5-year-olds. You know, we got so much going on right now. And I've been thinking about this in my brain because I'm so passionate about helping adults and being that coach for everybody. But I'm starting to think at 52 years old, we're going to start more focusing on the kids. You guys are all seem to be stuck in your ways. Don't want to change shit. Want to bitch, piss and moan. Want to blame. Want over. Who's going to do what for me? These kids are going, like you said, I could do that. And those guys are all fucking pissed off and miserable. Or I could do that. And Shawn and Chris, they seem pretty happy. What do you say to the parents of kids these days to inspire them that it's not about them, like we said earlier, that it's about the kids? What can we say to the parents that perhaps don't even recognize what it is that they're teaching their kids indirectly with their actions? What can we say to the parents tonight to have them associate a bigger why with their actions and their responses in the world today?
Just be the example every single day, you know, through heartache, through pain, through bad days, through good days. Be the example because they're watching. You know, Kobe Bryant said a quote, and I listened to Kobe Bryant. He said that when he had pulled his Achilles, I'm not sure if you know who Kobe Bryant Kobe is. Kobe's like one of my favorite basketball.
Do I know who Kobe Bryant is?
my bad, Chris. Well,
only the greatest baseball player ever.
Yeah. He was.
Of course, I know Kobe Bryant is. What do you think? I live under a fucking rock.
Well,
white live in California. I don't know who Kobe is. What are you trying to say?
He said a quote when he got injured. He pulled his Achilles, and when he went back to the locker room, his kids was watching him. His wife was watching him, but specifically his kids was watching him. And he said, as a parent, you gotta be the example. So he go back to the locker room. He telling his kids, you know, everything's gonna be okay. Instead of going back there saying, "Oh, my Achilles," like screaming and crying, he's going back there calmly saying, "Everything's gonna be okay. You know, Dad's fine. And so, like, just listen to that, man. Like, literally, you just gotta be the example through everything. Like, just stay strong, because the stronger you are, the stronger your kids will be.
That's true. I have a little bit of pushback on the first part of that. As you said, set the example. What if I'm a parent and I see the example is that, you know, that's I should be treated differently based on where I live? I think that's important. I think I should get better respect from where I live. And I believe that's important to teach my kids. What can we do to shift that? Like that, just, I realize that's a $10 billion question, but what can we do? What can we do to get people to be, I guess, more responsive than reactive?
To know that we all connected. either way, we are connected. So say, for example, I would never do this, but if we're in person, I take a knife and stab a knife through my hand, you're going to feel that emotionally. You know what I mean? So we all emotionally connected. We all bleed red. So you can't look at somebody as somebody better than somebody if they're trying. You know, you have to embrace that person, because that blessing is not going to come to you for being that way. That blessing is going to go to that person who's trying.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Absolutely. I was actually, let's see what Robert's saying here. Sometimes Robert's got some, he says, if everyone suddenly did this, the country would be saved overnight with some adjustments to kickstart those small and medium businesses that will also save the economy. I think it goes back to a point that we were talking about earlier. But yes, and Don says we are all connected. I mean, that's so true. It's so true. And what you just said, I mean, I think of things like, if I could say something that's like just really crass, I've never heard of anybody getting a blood transfusion. I've asked people this, that I know were like borderline assholes. Let's just be honest. Like, did you ask what color the person came from, that blood that just saved your life? No. Yeah, because we all bleed the same. We all have the same emotion. I tell people we're more alike than we are different. And right now we have more an amazing opportunity to see that and sit there and to have, you know, open-ended discussions and just to really realize what's the biggest impact that we want to leave. We want to leave a legacy for our kids so that when they look back in the history books, that it doesn't say 2021 through 2024, they monkey fucked the world into oblivion. The end. Right.
Exactly.
So I think about this, and I'm gonna tie this up because I want to get your social media stuff. This is something that Dennis Waitley on that Psychology of Success a couple of days ago that has stuck with me. So that's why I went back to it. And I wrote it up there. It's God is my witness is right there. He says, he talked about candidly, like when he was successful and he was on the road, he goes, I wasn't always there for them. And I was always this. So he was talking about regrets, which is, you know me, I always talk about regrets that I don't want any. But he said in those moments, he goes, am I being the dad, for example, and I use this one, am I being the dad that I would be excited to have right now in this moment? So when I was camping, I was in there being lazy and he was on his iPad and I was like, am I being the dad that I would be excited about having in this moment where we're in this RV and we're at this campground and I'm 5 years old and I can give a shit if it's hot outside. I want to go play. That shifted me massively. It was like, am I being the husband that if I was my wife that I would want to be? So those questions, man, those questions could get us to shift and say, no, I'm not. I wouldn't want to be around a reactive dad all the time who yelled at the TV. No, I would want a dad that took me out and played and taught me stuff. Would I want to be the husband who comes home every night grumpy and bitching about work when I haven't seen you all day and I've been alone and I would just want to talk? No. Would I want to be the sister? Would I want to be the dad? Whatever it is, if we ask ourselves those questions, ooh. So what do you think about that, Mr. Shawn Jackson?
Well, that ties in with your sets, which is your heart set, your mindset, your health set, and your soul set, which is 4 key vital points that we have to really tie into because those are important. You know, your mindset is important, your health set is definitely important, your heart set is definitely important, and your soul set is important. And that's just to go back to what you just said. You know, so if your health set ain't right, you can't produce fully on your business. If your heart ain't right, you know, if your heart ain't into it, if you bring in the past into your business, as in like the heartache and the pain, you're not gonna be successful. You know, you gotta get all 4 sets on all in tune with one another. You know, literally, it has to flow together, and I love it. You know, I do a room of Clubhouse about that. You know, about heart set, health set, mindset, and soul set. And I try to get people to know that all 4 sets are very vital, and being an entrepreneur, and not even being an entrepreneur, man, just in work and life in general. Like if all 4 sets aren't right, you're not gonna be right as a person. You know, you're just gonna be one confused person because your heart gonna be broken, your mind not gonna be right, so your grind not gonna be right. So you're gonna be broke because your mind ain't right. So like it's very vital to get all 4 sets.
Yep. Then it starts becoming that vicious cycle of help others soar. Yeah. And I think Dennis said that as well. When you make other people more successful, if you strive to make other people successful, they'll make you successful too.
Yeah.
I have a trouble with that one lately. I've been trying to make people successful, and some people have been stabbing me in the back. I won't say names. I'm not gonna be that much of a dick. Olga, what's up, Olga? Thank you so much for being here. She says, he or she says, I love this. We need to put ourselves in others people's shoes to be the best mom, wife, daughter. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Olga. Yeah. No, Olga's a female. I was like, I don't have my glasses on, ladies and gentlemen. So I was like, what does that say? See, I'm not. Do you guys think I should wear my glasses when I do my show now? Because now I feel like I'm just like too geeky. I'm like, oh, look at me. But actually, I can see the fucking screen. That's pretty cool. Helping to others soar. You did that tonight, Shawn Jackson. Thank you so much. Where can people get a hold of you? Where can they continue the conversation with you? What's your website?
My website is www.us/ns.com.
-ns, not slash. For those people listening, it's -ns, right?
Yeah, dash. My bad, dash.
Yeah. And where are you at on Instagram?
You can find me on Instagram, Upsty, UPSTY LLC.
Yeah. What do you usually post on Instagram? Tell the people, give them a sneak peek of what you usually post on Instagram.
Oh, I love posting motivational content. You know, I post people to get up in the morning time. So, for example, tomorrow morning I wake up, I'll just get up until people wake up. While I'm working, y'all sleeping. Like, let's get it. Let's get it. It's time to get this money. It's time to get up and have a beautiful day. You know, get up and get the blood flowing. I tell people all the time, the earlier you get up, you're able to get stuff done early. You're able to conquer your day a lot early. So when you get home, now you're able to relax and reflect. You know, if you run around scrambling around trying to find stuff, you're not really getting up and handling your business.
No, you're not. You're starting the day off like a chicken with your head cut off. Shawn Jackson, thank you so much for being here on the Raw and Unscripted show, just having this candid conversation with me. I know we impacted people. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this on the replay or on the live, just put a comment in there what you took away. What was your nugget tonight? What was the thing that you took away? I'd love to see those in the comments, and myself and Shawn will go back there and comment on those as well. We appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. But I know Darlene's got to go. Thank you so much for Darlene being here. And we got Pamela Aubrey in the house. What's up, Pamela? She goes, hi guys, late to the show. I was doing my hair, but we'll catch the replay. You look great though. We look great. Pamela was fixing her hair. I'm just kidding. I don't even know who Pamela is. Who's Pamela Aubrey? Has she commented here again? I have to quit working until 9 so I can get up earlier. She works until 9. How cute is that? Right? All right, brother, I'm going to place you backstage. I appreciate you. We're going to continue talking. Don't go anywhere. I want to close out the show. So there you have it, beautiful people. Shawn Jackson, aka The Refresher. And what an amazing conversation about, opportunity, hope, the ability for us to really take ownership and take responsibility and accountability. We talked about that tonight, to change it where it is that we're at. So if you're in a situation that you're not happy, ask yourself, am I happy? Yes or no? If you're not, then sit there and decide what it is that you can do tomorrow, tonight, in the next 10 moments to change that. You can change that by being aware and being aware that life is happening for you and not to you, and not to take that victim mindset. If Shawn would have taken that victim mindset in so many different situations, where would he be today? Where would I be today? I'd be dead or in jail. I can pretty much guarantee you. Or I'd be seriously psychotic, because I have those tendencies. Sometimes that brain just kind of goes crazy, but it's all good because I'm unique. We're all unique. We all have the opportunity to stop, listen, reflect, like Shawn said, stop, listen, reflect, and see where we're at. See where we're at emotionally, physically, spiritually. See where we're at in our journey of achieving the goals that we want to set out to achieve. See where we're at in defining what our best is. What is our best? I went through that conversation with myself today and thinking about stuff and thinking about what I'm bringing to the table in my different relationships. I'm like, Chris, you think you have this perspective of that you're always there and you're always doing this, but are you really? And we can always ask ourselves, are you really? So again, those questions that I can't take credit for on these two, but Dennis Waitley said, am I being the best mom, or am I being the mom that I would be excited to be if I was that person? And so that's like, I think about that now. And I've always told you guys and this is something I didn't get to share with Shawn, so I'll share it directly because he can still hear this. When I wake up in the morning, first thing I do before I open my eyes is I say what I'm grateful for every morning. Every morning, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for I woke up. I'm grateful for another day. I'm grateful my son's sleeping in the next room. I'm grateful for whatever it is that I'm grateful for. And sometimes they're the same things, and sometimes, or many times, they're new things, because we always can find something else to be grateful for. I'm grateful that I have lights. I'm grateful that I get up and have a clean toothbrush to brush my teeth. I'm grateful that I have toilet paper, whatever it might be. I say what I'm grateful for before my eyes open. And then the next step, ladies and gentlemen, about taking responsibility for our day is I say what my intentions are. Are my intentions today to go out there and make people unhappy? No. Are my intentions to go out there and be a nasty mom? No. So why don't we set those intentions? So I invite each and every one of you, starting tomorrow, when you wake up, say what you're grateful for, then set your intentions. And this is how I do it. First one is always, I will be present and playful with my son. My intention is to be present and playful with my son. My intention is to set a good example for my son. My intention today is to bring value to the world in such a way that it makes it a better place. My intention for today is to be productive and not get distracted, because I get distracted. My intention today is to catch myself when I'm thinking, whatever it might be for you. What is it for you? Start setting the intentions. And then after that, listen to some motivational content, read some content, journal, listen to this. I have a music playlist in the morning. It's called the morning playlist. If I feel kind of funky, if I didn't do what I did this morning, listen to Dennis on my audiobook, I have a morning playlist. It's got ABBA. It's got Hanson Mbop. It's got a bunch of songs that when I sing them and I dance around, I change my state. And when you change your state, ladies and gentlemen, you change your results. So go out there, be the change you want to see. Let's give an opportunity to every individual that we come in contact with to step back and have a response versus a reaction. Let's question our judgments. Let's question our perspectives. Let's have opportunities to have engagement with one another in a way that lifts one another up and that actually leaves the situation a little bit better for what it is that you did or said, whether they're a stranger, whether they're your neighbor, whether they're your best friend. Let's all connect with one another. I thought of somebody today and I thought, and I was like, I wonder how they're doing. And instead of just passing it by thinking I will do it later, I know them. I sent them an email. I'm like, hey, just checking in on you. We haven't had a conversation in a while. I want to make sure you're good. I know last time you said there was a couple things going on. Just want to make sure everything's good. Make sure the family's good. I sent it off. That could be the best thing that person sees all day. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is when we care and we care to take the actions to go support one another, whether it's a long friend or a family member, whatever it might be, we have the opportunity to impact people positively every single day with who we are and what we do, especially with our kids, like we talked with Shawn tonight. Please, if you have kids, I don't care how old they are. I don't care if they're fucking 35 years old. Please be the example. Set the example. If there's something that you brought them up to believe that now you're questioning, please have those conversations. Ask them what their opinions are. You know, I encourage them to go seek different forms of perspective. Right? There's so much opportunity for us to all learn and grow together. It doesn't mean we have to change who we are. It doesn't mean we have to give up on our beliefs or anything else, but it offers us the opportunity to see that we're actually really more similar than we are different. And I've proven that in the conversations that I've had with people over the last couple of weeks and just indirectly asking questions. We're all looking for the same stuff. We're just going about it completely differently. So let's all be the change we want to see. I love you guys. We'll be back here next Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with another awesome show, the Raw and Unscripted Show. And don't forget to go subscribe to the podcast. It's on your favorite podcast player everywhere, iTunes, iHeart, just Google the Raw and Unscripted podcast. You can subscribe to it. I love you guys. I appreciate you here again, whether you're live or on the replay. Sorry, I get a little excited and my brain goes faster than my mouth. I love you guys. Go out and have a beautiful night. We'll see you next time on the Raw and Unscripted Show.